It is FMC. I'm Jeremy. It is Tuesday, May 16th. That is SP3. And SP3, let's go to church.
Welcome to the LMC, the Laker Morning Church. That is my brother, Jeremy Lambert. I am SP3, Reverend SP3, Preacher SP3. And we are here for a glorious day, ladies and gentlemen, because the sun has come out. The sun has come out, and it is shining on Los Angeles. It is shining on LeBron James. It is shining on Anthony Davis. It is shining on Rui Hashimura. It is shining on Dennis Schroeder. It is shining on D'Angelo Russell. It is shining on Malik Beasley. Even though he on the bench, it's still shining on him. It's still shining on the bench and not over him. He's sitting on it. It's shining on him. It is shining on Darvin Ham. Because ladies and gentlemen, sometimes the heathens, the sinners will come to you and say that you're doing something wrong when you're just doing your job, when you're just living your life. And that's what Darvin Ham learned this season. When my Los Angeles Lakers started off 2-10, he just had to keep going down that righteous path. And he did just that. He did just that. He instilled the faith that we would overcome. And that's what we did. And it is shining on Darvin Ham. It is shining on the Los Angeles Lakers. It is shining on the city of Los Angeles because my Los Angeles Lakers, all Los Angeles Lakers, have made it to the conference finals. It's not the promised land, but we're very close. We're one step away from the promised land. And although the prophet Isaiah got the number of games wrong, it wasn't Lakers in 5, it was Lakers in 6. 6 is our lucky number. We are reversing the times. When 6 was an evil number, we are making it a glorious number because the Lakers is finishing these folks off in 6 games. That's how we do. That's what we're gonna do today, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the LMC. And there's a particular name that I didn't mention when I said LeBron James, who dropped 30 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, his best game in the playoffs since the 2020 NBA Finals Game 5. That's the first time since Game 5 of the 2020 NBA Finals that LeBron James dropped 30 in a playoff game. I didn't particularly mention, someone besides, I mentioned Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis with 17 points, 20 rebounds. How you like me now? Yeah, I mentioned Rui Hashimura, because I was a believer. I wasn't like Peter. That denied Jesus Christ 3 times. No. I didn't deny Rui Hashimura. I said his name 93 times just to prove that I had faith in Rui Hashimura when it came aboard, when it came to the city. I was like Chris Farley in Beverly Hills Cop. I embraced the Japanese culture. I embraced the karate, and I embraced Rui Hashimura. Yes, I did. D'Angelo Russell, he was on a bad path. He was ending happy homes the last time he was in Los Angeles, but this time he's hitting the 3. He's making you believe. But I didn't mention because I got some hymns plural for you, because hope be my anthem. Lord, when the world has fallen quiet, you stand beside me and give me a song in the night. And Revis, I need you every moment. I need you here now. This grace brought heart sing out your praise forever. Beautiful ashes, you find the weak and contrite heart. Shoulders its burdens. He shouldered the burdens of the Los Angeles Lakers and carry it into the night. Revis, Revis, I need you every moment. I need you. Yes, we needed Revis to be the number 3, the third best player to complete the big 3 in Los Angeles. And that's why he was joy. He was joy to the world. Joy to the world. Joy to the world. Let her receive her King. Let every heart prepare room. Let heaven and earth, let heaven and earth and nature, let heaven and earth and nature sing. Let heaven and earth, let heaven and earth, let heaven and earth. Everybody sing, heaven, 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 nature, rejoice to the world, joy to the world. Read this, amen. Receive our King. Yes, yes, and we overcame the reigning NBA champions. The reigning NBA champions, the Golden State Warriors. We overcame the light-skinned assassin, Steph Curry. We overcame Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson couldn't do it. He tried to do it. He tried to dedicate it to all great Kobe Bean Bryant. No. You won't do that in Los Angeles. You won't do that. You lost your shot in Los Angeles when you gave the Crypto.com, the former Staples Center. You lost your shot. You lost your shot. And it was a wrap. There was no water in that Jordan pool. Oh, no. In that Jordan pool. Oh, no. And Draymond Green, the grass wasn't greener on the other side. It wasn't greener in the SoCal like it was in North Cal. No. But you know what we're going to do? Lately, I've been going through some things that really got me down. Oh, yeah, because Draymond like to stop. Hey, I need somebody somewhere to help me come and turn my life around. Oh, what they say? What they say when the Lakers say? I can't explain it. I can't obtain it. Oh no, Jesus, your love is so amazing. Yeah, I gets me high up to the sky. When I think about your goodness, it makes me wanna stomp. Or what people say, stomp. Make me clap my hands, make me wanna dance and stomp. Oh, my brother, can't you see? Can't you see the Lakers in the conference final? I got the victory. Yeah. Stop. Oh, stop. Yeah. We stomping on your Warriors. When I think about that goodness and the fullness of my God. Yeah, a bitter spirit. Oh, make me thankful, pity to be hateful, then grateful. Oh yeah. All the people say, yeah, okay. The Lord brought me through this far. You're trying to be cute when I praise Him. Oh. What they say when the servant say, hey, I promise to stomp. The Lord is coming. The Lord is here. Oh, the Lord is here. The Los Angeles Lakers in the conference finals. We are here. We came from 2-10 to the Western Conference Finals, the greatest 7 seed in the NBA playoff history, ladies and gentlemen. We overcame the Memphis Grizzlies. We got Dylan Brooks up out of here. He tried to come to the pearly gates, but we was like, no, you turn your butt around. Now he on and he ain't even going back to Memphis. Oh, we got John Morant pulling out the gat on IG Live. Oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. We gonna break up the dynasty. We gonna break up the dynasty of the Warriors next. What's gonna happen? What's the fallout to that? And then what's next? What's next, ladies and gentlemen? The Denver Nuggets, I'll give them credit. They got the real MVP, Nikola Jokic. Yeah. But Nikola Jokic, you're like Superman. You could do it all. You're impervious to pain. You're faster than a speeding bullet. Now you're pretty slow, but you get the bullets just bounce off of you because you just pass the ball out. You get the rebound. You could drop 50. You could drop 20, triple double. You could do it all. But your kryptonite is Anthony Davis. You remember the last time. They try to laugh at me in this chat. You try to laugh at me in this church. Oh man, I felt like a heathen. I felt like the very religious woman who walks in after she got a divorce because y'all tried to come in here and try to tell me the bubble playoffs ain't count, but it looked really familiar, these conference finals. They're really familiar, these conference finals, because it's the same 4 teams. It's the same 4 teams that were in Orlando. They are here in the conference finals. And I just got it's a simple equation, ladies and gentlemen. It's a simple equation that is going to get us the win. Denver Nuggets, chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, chicken parmesan, chicken cutlets, chicken and rice. Lakers in 6. It can be Nikola Jokic. It can be the Joker. It can be the Penguin. It can be Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow. Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. It can be Jamal Murray, Brittany Murray, Eddie Murphy. It don't matter. It's Lakers in 6, y'all. It's Lakers in 6, y'all. We coming up. It's a wrap. It can be Michael Porter Jr., Terry Porter, Michael Jordan. It can be Michael B. Jordan. It don't matter. It's Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. It can be Mike Malone, Karl Malone, Malone, Post Malone. It's Lakers in 6. It's Lakers in 6 all day, all long. It's Lakers in 6. We going to the NBA Finals. We going. I feel the spirit. The spirit is telling me. The spirit is telling me. They are telling me that we are going to the promised land. We are one step away. Every person who is in the chat trying to deny my words are the same people who denied me when I said the Lakers would beat the Memphis Grizzlies. They denied me when I said the Lakers would beat the Golden State Warriors. You're going to deny me the 3rd time. You're going to be like Peter denied Jesus Christ. You're Judas Priest. You're Judas. What have I become now that I've betrayed? And you betrayed yourself by going against my word. I try to tell you the word. I'm trying to tell you what's going to go down. You can place your bets on it, and you would make some money, but nobody want to listen to me. They want to deny and deny and deny and deny. You're in denial. That's the first step to recovery. You gotta deny, and then you gotta accept your fate, and the fate is Lakers in 6.
I have the holy water here. I feel like you need some holy water. SP3.
I'm fine. I am drinking off the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Lakers in 6. I do need to take off this jacket because I'm hot.
Oh my gosh. People who said in the chat, Trey Jones, the sermon's lasting longer than you said that at like the 8-minute mark, and I was like, he's gone 10 minutes before. That was about 13 minutes right there. Almost 14. It's getting longer and longer.
Don't let us be 3-1. Don't let us be 3-1 next Tuesday. Don't let us be 3-1. You want a samba. You want a samba serving. It could be 2-2, 1-1, however it is. If you want a samba serving, you better hope. Y'all go against the Lakers. Y'all trying to bet against the Lakers. You're trying to put everything against us. Don't worry. People have denied LeBron James time and time again, and he has overcome. So it is. Whew, I feel the Holy Ghost.
Ghost.
Oh man, that stomp performance. That stomp performance got a lot.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, that killed me. Oh, that absolutely killed me. That was so good. All right, let's exit the church peacefully. Quiet. Everyone stand. Everyone, as SP3 exits, everyone stand. Be blessed by what we just witnessed there. What we witnessed every Tuesday on Lakers Morning Church. Let's go unbiased here, SP3. Let's talk about the Lakers and Warriors series right fast. Like I said, whenever we did our preview of Klay Thompson needed to be better than Austin Reeves. Klay Thompson wasn't better than Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker was better than Klay Thompson. So that, look, to me, that's what it comes. That's why the Warriors lost. Klay Thompson wasn't good enough. Jordan Poole, you did kill me on there. Ain't no water left in the Jordan Poole. That one was tremendous. Jordan Poole was bad. He was good game one. The game they lost, and then after he took that potentially ill-advised chuck shot at the end of the game there to try to win it, or at least put him up, I don't know if he scored a point the rest of the series after that shot. Like, it didn't feel like it. Jordan Poole wasn't good. Klay Thompson wasn't good enough. And then the rest of the Warriors, look, Steph was as good as you would hope he would be. Draymond was basically what you're going to get out of Draymond. He was great in game 5. The rest of them, they're not meant to be in those roles. Wiggins was still a little banged up. Klay and Jordan Poole weren't good enough. That's what it comes down to. When you're getting outplayed by, I don't think it was a big surprise that like Austin Reeves was good and everything. I think people expected that from him. D'Angelo Russell, he can be hit and miss, but he had a couple of good games. You're getting outplayed by Lonnie Walker, who was not playing in the series before like game 2. Like, you're gonna lose if you're the Warriors and your second best player and really your third best player offensively are getting outplayed by a dude who was not in the rotation at the start of the series. That's why you lost.
And and you talked about Jordan Poole, but like it's ridiculous. It like that really is the downfall for him, was missing that shot in game 1, because game 1 he has 21 points, 7 of 15. Then the rest of the series looks like a freaking bank account. He had 6 points in game 2. He had 5 points in game 3, 0 in game 4, 11 in game 5, and 7 in game 6. Jesus Christ.
It wasn't good enough. They paid him all that money in the offseason. And look, he was great in the playoffs last year for them. His regular season wasn't terrible or anything. I think they probably expected a little bit more, but he wasn't bad during the regular season. His numbers, at least, looked good. Playoffs, he disappeared. And there could be a number of reasons for that. It could be, partially Lakers defense was good. When you start off your season getting punched by the dude who's supposed to be the leader, who's supposed to be the glue guy of like, oh, we can't trade Draymond. He's the guy who holds us all together. He holds us all accountable. He's the guy we look up to. And he's punching your guy who's supposed to lead the next iteration of the Warriors. This is the guy who, he was never going to be Steph Curry, but he was supposed to be that little bridge there of like, oh, when Steph ages out, Jordan Poole, it's going to become his team. And your leader is punching this guy. I don't know what that does to a person mentally. And I don't think it helps. That's for certain. I mean, look, Jordan Poole, he carried on in the season, acted like it was no big deal. We saw different footage and everything. And that's, Jordan Poole kind of blowing off Draymond in games and everything. Like, I don't know what it does to a guy mentally. I don't think it helps. And now we'll see what happens with the Warriors. They got some decisions to make in the offseason. My guess is they try to retool and go for, one more. Steph is still really good. He's 35. He's still really good. Draymond's there. He probably wants to get paid. Clay, he was good. His numbers were good in the regular season, but you could tell he just didn't have that explosiveness that he used to have, which is understandable given all the surgeries he's had. Defensively, getting cooked, that we haven't seen Clay get cooked like that in his prime. And then just, he wasn't great in the playoffs. He would have a good game or two, but he wasn't great in the playoffs. But I think they're going to try to extend this Steph window. Maybe that means trading Moses Moody. Maybe it means trading Jonathan Kuminga. Maybe it means trading Jordan Poole. I don't know, but I think they're going to try to retool and give the Steph, Clay, Draymond, Wiggins, Looney kind of core there another shot or two at it.
Yeah, it's a steep downfall for Clay in these postseasons because he had a really good season coming off of all the injuries. He had 22 points, 4 rebounds. He shot 43% from the field, but 41% from three. And then in the postseason, it just dropped dramatically. Like, he had a great game, a couple of games in the Sacramento series, but overall in the postseason, he averaged 18.5 points, so 3 points down from his regular season total. 4 rebounds, but the shooting was just not as good. 38% from the field, 37% from three. Still good from three, but overall his shooting just wasn't up to par, and wasn't up to par against the Lakers either. So yeah, I mean, I do think that they need to retool, put some people around Steph, give them more, I guess, shooting, and some people that can also score on the inside. I think Wiggins, he was the most consistent player outside of Steph in that series against the Lakers, so you keep him around. Draymond Green, I kind of think he's going to opt into his final year in his player option. He's going to get $27 million, and I don't see any team giving him $27 million next year. So yeah, it's wise if he decides that he wants to opt in, and he said that he wants to stay with the Golden State Warriors. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you trade Jordan Poole at this point, because who's going to want him after that series? Who's going to want him?
Okay. Yeah, like, it's easy to get caught up in this one series type of thing. I agree. His value is not great right now. But at the end of the day, Jordan Poole's what, 23, 24? Like, how old? Let me look up how old Jordan Poole is. He's 23. Not like he's an older player. The contract, not great because he just got paid all that money. But at the end of the day, he's a 23-year-old point guard who can, a decent enough playmaker, can get hot. Might just need a different environment at this point. Like, might just need a different environment. I don't know if him being near Draymond is good for him at this point. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't, he was asked about his relationship with Draymond, and he's like, we're teammates. Like, that's it. It's obviously not great when dude's punching you in the face. Maybe a change of scenery can help him. And I think other teams will look at that and be like, you know what? We've seen him be good. We've seen him be very good in the playoffs last year. He has a lot of tools you would like in modern NBA with his length, with his shooting, with his just overall scoring. You would like him to improve in some areas, but I don't know how much he's going to improve under the Warriors with Steph Curry. And this is not a knock on Steph Curry. It's his team. It's Steph Curry's team. He's going to be running the show, and they want Jordan Poole, I think, to play a lot like Steph Curry. And that's what everybody was like, oh, watch Jordan. He's going to relocate. Steph's going to teach him so much. And Steph Curry, I don't know if he's got time for all this. Steph is trying to win titles still. He ain't got time to be a leader, and he is a leader, but he ain't got time to be like, okay, let me teach these young guys the ropes and everything. He's still in his prime. He's still trying to win titles. I think Jordan Poole still has value. I think he still has value.
I think, and especially if it's a package with someone like Kaminga and Moody, that's
Yeah,
going to get
exactly.
them at least one. They can get that one player that they probably need to be back as a contender. But Jordan Poole, man, that fall from grace in the postseason, because the regular season he had 20. He scored 20 points on 43% from the field, 34% from three. Have you seen his postseason numbers?
Oh, they're bad. They're bad. I
10
don't call
points
them.
down. He's 10
Yeah,
points down. He averaged 10 points per game, 3.5 assists, 34% from the field, 25% from three.
he wasn't good. He disappeared completely in the Lakers series outside of game one. He was good in game one. They lost that game. Again, I'm not sure he scored. I know he did, but it didn't feel like he scored the rest of the series. Like he felt very invisible. And for a guy making that much, for a guy who's supposed to be the spark off the bench, for the guy who's supposed to carry the offense when Steph sits and everything, he wasn't good enough. When you're getting outplayed by Lonnie Walker, you got issues. Got issues. He wasn't good enough. And I don't know what to say about Jordan Poole. I still think there's some value there. I was never as high on Jordan Poole as clearly the Warriors were when they gave him that contract. But he simply wasn't good enough, and now they got decisions to make with a lot of their roster. And again, my guess is they try to retool around their core three and still make another run or two out of it, because there's no sign that Steph is really slipping. And as long as Steph is playing at this level, you can't afford to like punt on seasons. And, we talked about, or a lot of people talked about the overall mood and like when it comes to the Warriors. Their timeline got very messed up by those bad seasons when they ended up with Wiseman, they ended up with Kaminga, they ended up with Moody, and like these young guys coming in here, they want to play, especially when you're that high of draft pick. Like Wiseman was like second overall, Moody and Kaminga were top 10 picks.
That was a
like,
bust. That was a bust for them. Wiseman as the second pick.
Yeah, I think I thought they should have traded that pick immediately, because there was no sign that Steph, Clay, and Draymond were gonna be like done. They were injured and everything, but there was no sign they were gonna be done on that. Like they should have. I feel like they should have traded, and that was the report. The rumor was like, oh, they might trade in. I forget all the names that were out there for them to go after. I know like Durant was even a name last year.
Remember, we were talking about it before last season. There was talks of them trying to trade that for Siakam.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Siakam. Yeah,
Siakam was the big name that they said that people were talking about at that time, and I thought before last season that's what they were gonna do in the regular season, because I was like, I don't see this James Wiseman experiment working out, and it didn't work out. So here we are. Now it seems like they didn't pay off on any of these young guys that they got. Jordan Poole, maybe it's an aberration what happened in this series, and maybe he can get back to where he is. But like you said, I think that the mental thing is the thing that really messed him up. And I don't know how he stays on the same team as Draymond after what went down this season.
I'm not sure how either. It's a tough situation for the Warriors, in a situation they kind of put themselves in. But what I was saying about the young guys is like, these guys want to play. They not only want to play to just because they're basketball players and they just want to play, like they want to play to grow, to improve, but to get paid too. Like you come to your next contract and it's like, okay, well, you're averaging 2 points in 5 minutes. Like we ain't paying you that much. It's like, wait a second, I'm coming off my rookie deal as a number 2 overall pick. All these other guys are getting these big fat contracts out of this, and because I'm not playing, I'm not going to get paid off of it. Like this weighs on these young guys. So it's the mix. The mix ain't mixing for a lot of these guys. The timelines did not line up, and now, sadly, not if you're a Warriors hater, they ended up trading Wiseman for just Gary Payton. And Gary Payton the third, a good player, but it is the number two overall pick. And you
had Gary Payton. You just didn't want to pay him. That's
right.
a reverse. Like, what are we doing? But
Kaminga and Moody might have value, but they don't have as much value as they did, as the fourth or the fifth and sixth pick, whatever they were in the draft. I think it was actually like 7th. Still, like 7th and 8th overall picks in the draft, like that pick has more value than Moody and Kuminga have right now. Some teams are going to take a shot on them, I'm sure, if the Warriors offer them up, but the value ain't there like it was a few years ago when it's like, oh, these guys are like raw prospects we could build. Now it's like, oh, we haven't seen enough out of these guys. Like, no, why are we going to take a flyer? Why are we going to give up guys on our roster to take a flyer on them when they haven't proven anything for you? And now they're older, and now we got to reshape some things. They put themselves in a tough situation, but again, they did it to themselves with when they tried to mesh these two timelines, which were way over here and way over here. They didn't add up.
Yeah, it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. They thought they can do like the perfect balance of have a championship contending team with these young players that they were able to assemble when Steph and Clay were injured. But all of that saying, all the things that the Golden State Warriors did wrong in this series, we cannot take away from what the Lakers did right. The Lakers in these first two series with Memphis and Golden State have done an exceptional job of controlling the points in the paint, being very dominant when it comes to points in the paint and the free throw differential. Despite Steve Kerr trying to honey dick the freaking referees into calling shady fouls and not making it balance and giving Warriors fouls for stuff that weren't even fouls. So yeah, it didn't matter. It didn't matter because the Los Angeles Lakers proved themselves to be better than the Golden State Warriors. And now we got another hard test ahead of us with the Denver Nuggets. But on the other hand, I think that we are the toughest test of the Denver Nuggets so far in the playoffs, because so far in the playoffs, the Denver Nuggets have faced a mediocre Minnesota Timberwolves team, and they have faced they didn't even verse a team in the last round. They first 4 players that turned into 3 players that turned into 2 players because
that's not their fault. That's
DeAndre,
not their fault.
No, you play who's in front of you, but they have not been tested yet. And while the Lakers have been playing basically playoff games since March, Denver Nuggets are finally going to be playing a real playoff game. They finally played some real playoff games in this last series. Maybe like game 4, game 5, game 6. They dominated 5 and 6, but they played a little bit. The Phoenix Suns weren't even a full team. Now they're versing an actual playoff team that has proven and tested, that have been playing playoff games to get to this point since March, while the Denver Nuggets really haven't played a lot of hard games since, I don't know, early in the season, because they got that big lead by like February where they were the number 1 seed, and they really they've played consistent basketball. They're one of the deepest teams in the NBA. They have a well-constructed team, and their core has been together for so long. And their coach, Mike Malone, is one of the better ones in the NBA that doesn't get a lot of credit. All that withstanding, I don't know if they have been tested these playoffs like the Lakers have.
They were 2-2 against the Phoenix Suns. So if they lose game 5, then it's a 3-2 series. They were in a non-advantageous position against the Phoenix Suns at 2-2. So I'm not going to do the tests. Have they been tested type of thing, because they're in the playoffs. These playoff games you're getting tested in the playoffs. All right. You're going to the free clinic in the playoffs
against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yes, it's a playoff game. Look at all the upsets in the playoffs, SP3. Look at all the upsets in the playoffs. Like, do I think Minnesota was great? No. Do I think they presented some matchup problems against the Nuggets? Yes, because they had the Gobert and Towns, but like that pairing, it didn't work for most of the season. But they're a matchup problem with those two. They had a guy like Anthony Edwards who could get really hot. The Suns, okay, Chris Paul gets hurt. Chris Paul gets hurt every single playoff season. It seems like what are you going to do?
Taxes, Chris Paul choked. That's what we're talking about here.
DeAndre Ayton, just turns into DeAndre Ayton. He doesn't want to engage. He doesn't want to be aggressive. It's not the Nuggets' fault that DeAndre Ayton's playing like this. Devin Booker was on like an all-time heater for a couple of games there. They had to deal with that. Kevin Durant is allegedly still Kevin Durant. We got to have a conversation about Kevin Durant.
Dude, yes, we do. We do have to have that conversation of, is Kevin Durant ever going to be a top 5 player again? I don't know anymore. When you're not even the best player on your team again in your career, in my opinion, he was the best player in the NBA Finals, but I would say even the 2 championships that he got in Golden State, Steph was sometimes the best player in some of these playoffs.
He joined a 73-win team like a little bitch. That's what he did. No, I'm not giving him any credit for that. I'm not giving him credit at all for that. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not.
That's fair. That's fair to me. But yeah,
I could have joined that team and just sat on the bench and won a ring.
You could have hit a shot. You could have hit a shot in garbage.
They're going to leave me open. I'm white. I can shoot a little. They're going to leave me open all the time.
Got the jumper. He got the Jimmy. Jeremy with the Jimmy. But yeah. I think that we really have to have that conversation. Is he a top 5 player anymore, or is he going to be? I don't think so.
No. He's not top 5 anymore. He's not. I still, my Kevin Durant hatred aside, I still like watching him play basketball. He's an aesthetically pleasing basketball player. Top 5 though? No. If I'm looking to build a team, I'm taking Steph at this point over Durant. I'm definitely taking Giannis. I'm definitely taking Jokic. I'm definitely taking Luka. You can say what you want about him, but Luka is still a better player. Yeah, LeBron at this age. Yeah, I'm taking LeBron.
2 more years. I got 3 more years. I'll take that. I'll take that over Steph. Kevin Durant. I don't even know if he's going to be on the court. LeBron playing with a sore foot. I can't trust Kevin Durant to be on the court that often. Can't trust Kawhi Leonard to be on the court that often. So they are out of that top 5 conversation.
Yeah, I'm taking. If we're talking one season. By the way, because if you're talking long term, then I'm like, well, yeah, I'm taking like Shea over Durant because I got Durant maybe 1 or 2 seasons. I got Shea for a decade, so
I take Devin Booker over Kevin Durant. Right
yes, yeah. So yeah, Durant, I don't think it's top 5 at this point. He's still very good. I'm not gonna sit here and completely hate on the guy. He's still a very good basketball player, but these last 2 seasons in the playoffs, what's he done? It hasn't been great for him. It has not been great. Boston completely shut him down in that series against Brooklyn. He didn't do anything in that series until like game 4 when they were down 3-0. Like, all right, thanks for showing up, KD. He wasn't bad in games 3 and 4. Devin Booker did a lot of the heavy lifting, but Kevin Durant made his shots. His efficiency wasn't Kevin Durant like.
He was better than Devin in game 6. Devin Booker he slowed down. Usage rate is slowed him down at that point. So
it just wasn't a good performance from Kevin Durant. He's older. He's got all the injuries and everything. Still very good, but yeah, he's not top 5 anymore. And the only reason he has 2 titles is because he took the easy path and he joined a team with 73 friggin' wins instead of what's he done when he's taking the hard path. In OKC, he was there. If he doesn't shoot like shit in game 6 against the Warriors, maybe they win that game. It's the most haunting game in my playoff, in my basketball fandom, is Kevin Durant in his prime, mind you, for some reason can't hit a friggin' shot in an elimination game, in a closeout game, game 6. Awful. Goes to the Nets, destroys that franchise, wins like 1 playoff series with them, goes to the Suns, wins 1 playoff series against a depleted Clippers team, where if the Clippers are healthy, I don't know if they win that series. I don't know if they win that series.
Yeah, I don't think they win that series, and that's why I try to tell all you Phoenix Suns fans, you guys are all getting gassed up when you got Kevin Durant like, oh, we're going to the championship again. We're going to the championship again. I told y'all in 2021, Chris Paul would choke Y'all were up 2-0 against the Milwaukee Bucks, and you choked, and Chris Paul didn't deliver for y'all, and then y'all choked again with Chris Paul getting injured in the playoffs, which is about as often. It happens every year. It's like Santa Claus. Santa Claus is coming to town, and Chris Paul's going to get injured in the damn playoffs again. That's all that always freaking happens. DeAndre Ayton turning into DeAndre Ayton too much. Can't even move. He's a freaking cone out there. Can't get a rebound. Getting out-rebounded by Chris Paul in some of these damn games. Devin Booker, he's the only one. He's the only one who could save face from this whole damn team. That's all your team was 4 players, and y'all thought y'all was gonna win a championship. No team has only been 3 or 4 players won a championship. Even Miami, when they had the big 3, they had to wait another year before they built an actual team around the big 3 before they won a championship. Y'all were too cocky. Y'all got what y'all deserve, and now you don't even got your coach of the year. Don't even got Monty Williams. Monty Williams gonna go to the Milwaukee Bucks and get more out of the Bucks than he ever did out of the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns is a damn joke. They're never gonna win a championship in some of your damn lifetimes. Chris Paul never gonna win a damn championship. Not a top 5 point guard in my opinion, because he always chokes, always gets injured.
A lot of vitriol. There.
No,
you were holding all that in.
No.
You were holding all that in for Ace Shock.
It's not just Ace Shock. It's not just Ace Shock. All you Phoenix Suns fans are some of the biggest haters to the Lakers fans. We haven't got to the Eastern Conference, but please believe the Knicks gonna get this same heat and vitriol, because the Knicks fans is some of the biggest haters to the Lakers. If you hate on the Lakers, you get what you deserve. I gave the same treatment to the Clippers, because Clipper fans living in the projects across the street from the Golden Luxury Mansion, y'all want to talk all that trash. And now look at y'all. Oh, we won 10 straight against the Lakers in the regular season. The regular season. This ain't the regular season, boy. This ain't Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
Oh man. Monty Williams getting fired is very unfortunate. Coach Killer Kevin Durant comes in there, gets Steve Nash fired, getting Monty Williams fired after half a season. I thought they would give him a little bit of a leash to start a season, but I will say I kind of respect that. Look, if you don't think this guy is the guy to lead your team into next season, go ahead and get the new guy in there instead of having him as a lame duck of like, okay, well, we need you to really show something here. And it's a new owner. The owner likes to get their coach, their players in there and everything like that. So I get it, but Monty Williams did a good job with that team. He helped along with Chris Paul, like lead a turnaround when it comes to that team. And Kevin Durant, by all accounts, seemed to like Monty Williams. So Monty Williams was when OKC, they got along and everything. But Monty Williams fired. That'd be a good pickup for Milwaukee. Phoenix they got some questions during the offseason. I think their best option, if possible, is to trade DeAndre Ayton. What they get for DeAndre Ayton, I don't know. But I do think just even if you get 2 good role players for him, I don't think you're getting like a 4th star or anything. But if you get 2 good role players, you still got, assuming Chris Paul is back, you still got Durant and Booker. You just need guys who can kind of defend and hit shots. That's your offense right there. Those are the guys who are going to have, you need a big to replace Ayton, but those are the guys who are going to have the ball in their hands. So you just need a low maintenance big, like a Clint Capella type guy, a rim protector who can catch lobs and just do a little bit around the rim. You don't need a guy who wants the ball and wants to be part of the offense like DeAndre Ayton wanted to be, and maybe deserves for as high as he was picked and for as much promise he had and everything. So I think if they can, they trade Ayton in the offseason to try to just add a little bit of depth and more pieces that fit around their 3 of Paul, Durant, and Booker. People are saying get Chris Paul out of here. He's got a player option, doesn't he? Yeah. He ain't declining that. Coming off this injury, his age. I'll look it up to confirm.
He signed that new deal after they went to the NBA finals. So I think that Chris Paul you have to hold. I think you have to hold on to him for now. Depending on how you do on the first half of the season, maybe you think about putting him out on the market for a trade during the trade deadline, depending on how you do in the first half of the season. But I agree with you. I think you trade DeAndre Ayton, you get 2 role players, a no maintenance big, and preferably a point guard who can come off the bench and sometimes start for when Chris Paul inevitably gets injured.
Well, they thought they had that in campaign, but he was a little bit banged up this
He had a
season
great
as well.
game in Game 6, though.
Yeah.
So give him that.
So Chris Paul's contract is a partial guaranteed contract at $30 million. I don't know how this works with trade because the NBA salary cap is just is a myth. Basically, it's a recommendation of what you should do, and then teams always find a way around it and spend over it and things like that. So it's partially guaranteed. I don't know, 30 million for a 38-year-old point guard who has a lot of miles on his body, who just doesn't hold up in the playoffs. I don't know who's taking on. Somebody will. Somebody, because if Russell Westbrook's contract can get traded multiple times, at some point, Chris Paul's contract, when it looked not great, got traded. So it can probably get traded, but you're getting diminishing returns off of that, and it might just be better if you're Phoenix of just look, players seem to like Chris Paul. We know Kevin Durant has a good relationship with Chris Paul. Devin Booker and Chris Paul have built a good relationship. Just keep them and try to get whatever you can out of these final couple of years. Ayton is the guy who actually has some value, and that's the guy you need to try to trade to build a team around these 3. If there's a good deal out there for Chris Paul, then yes, do it. I just don't know what that deal is, who's going to take on that money, what you're getting in return for him, because you got to basically trade money for money in this. So it's not like you're going to save money by trading him. I don't feel like any team is going to use their cap space on just a 38-year-old Chris Paul at that contract. Whoever has the cap space in the first place, yeah, we'll take this $30 million contract. It's got to be money for money. So if you're Dallas, I think, Kyrie is got some type of option anyway. But if you're Dallas, is okay, Davis Bertans has money you can line up. Tim Hardaway Jr. has money you can line up. Is that trade worth it for Chris Paul? Probably not. So I don't know if any team is going to, trade out money like that or use their cap space like that. I just don't know what value Chris Paul has.
Yeah, it's a tough sell for a 38-year-old who has not been reliable when they get deep into the playoffs. But all of that withstanding, can't deny that the Nuggets just proved themselves to be the much deeper team. They got contributions from pretty much everyone outside of Jokic as well, with Jamal Murray, who is still a little bit inconsistent, but he looks like he's back. He can have those games where he looks like Bubble Murray. Then you got MPJ, who's been pretty consistent as well as far as his scoring. KCP had a monster game from what he usually contributes in Game 6. So there's a lot of different matchup problems that they present for the Lakers, but I think we also present some matchup problems for them as well. I think this is going to be a deep series. I see it going 6 or 7 games. And I think if the Lakers want to get it done, they got to get it done in 6 games. But if it goes 7, I think the Nuggets probably got it. That's as unbiased as you're going to get from me right there. Oh, you were frozen for a second there. I was like,
I kind of thought it was my internet or yours. No,
I was
it was my internet. Yeah. All right, let's get into the Nuggets and Lakers series. So you're going, of course, Lakers in 6. And look, at this point, I can't even say it's a biased pick. I'm sure plenty of people are going to pick the Lakers. I'm going Nuggets in 6. One, sort of biased pick. Look, I picked the Nuggets to make the finals. I picked them to win the title. I'm not going off of that right now. Everybody, when it was 2-2 against Phoenix, oh, do you want to change? No, I don't do that. I stick with my prediction. I got no reason to go off the Nuggets, who are the best team in the Western Conference all season. Everything I said about the Nuggets has become true. Is it not? Jokic, the way he's playing, I I touted the KCP and the Bruce Brown pickups. I was like, these are the guys they need. These are good veteran role players who fit this offense, who play hard on defense and do the little things you need for this team to get over the hump. I still love those pickups. Jokic, we'll do some Joel Embiid slander here in a second. Jokic is playing the best basketball of his career, the absolute best basketball of his career, for, built for the playoffs and all this stuff. Definitely built for the playoffs. Jamal Murray, a little inconsistent, but can still give you those big games, can still contribute as a playmaker if his shot isn't always falling. Michael Porter Jr. can get really hot and can just knock down 6 triples in a game and just shoot the other team completely out of a game. Defensively, still a little bit of a liability. Aaron Gordon contributes on both ends. I love the makeup of this Nuggets team. I loved it at the start of the season, and that's why I picked them to win the title. It was a team that their core had been together. They'd been through some hardships, thought they could stay healthy, and so far they have. This would be the year they get over the hump. So I'm sticking with the Nuggets, and I think the Nuggets in 6. Now, I will praise the Lakers, SP3, because I see it look on your face.
I did want to say, the last 2 times the Denver Nuggets played the Los Angeles Lakers in the conference finals, we won the whole thing. I'll just say.
Look, I've seen that little history nugget that's out there. Different teams. And I realized the bubble was only a couple years ago. That doesn't count. Doesn't matter.
It matters. This year proves it matters.
How? I see people keep saying this. Oh, this validates the bubble. How? How does it validate the bubble?
It does.
Explain to me how it validates the bubble. Nobody can explain it. They're just saying it.
You tried to deny the bubble wasn't the hardest playoffs because the Los Angeles Lakers were supposed to have home court the entire time and they had to play on the road and still beat the Denver Nuggets. Still won the NBA championship. And it's all the cores is still there. You got the Lakers still got LeBron and AD. You got the Denver Nuggets still got Jamal Murray, MPJ, and Jokic. You still got the Miami Heat who got Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Coach Spo still there. And you got the Boston Celtics who still got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart. So they got most of there. They're probably the most of all that proves that it is true. It is true. The bubble counted. The bubble mattered, and this validates it.
I'll say this. Whoever wins the title this year, and it could be the Lakers. It could be. They should get 2 rings then. They should get 2 rings. The Lakers should concede their goofy ring, and the winner of this year's NBA Finals, they get 2 rings. If the bubble matters and this validates it, then give them 2 rings for winning this year.
Now this. The ring we got in 2020 is not any different than the ring we got in 2010, the ring we got in 2009. It's just a different design, same makers. It's from the NBA. It matters. It validated this year.
Then give them 2 rings.
Boston and Miami.
Give them 2 rings.
Boston and Miami. This is the third time in 4 years they've been in the conference finals. You're telling me the bubble didn't matter? It showed us. It showed us who Miami was. And Miami has pulled through the greatest 8 seed in the NBA playoffs since the 99 Knicks. Boston Celtics been a perennial 1 or 2 seed the last 4 years. How are you going to deny all of this? How are you going to deny all this? The Lakers overcame 2-10 to come back. And we need Rob Pelinka. Don't do what you did in 2020 where you broke your team up. Put it together. Keep it together. Pay Austin Reeves all the monies he wants.
Give them 2 rings.
But where's your praise for the Los Angeles Lakers? I'm sorry.
Go from Titty Boy to 2 rings. That's what we need off of. Wasn't that 2 Chainz name before it came 2 Chainz? It was like Titty Boy.
Titty Boy?
Am I making this up?
I don't remember.
What was it? Hold on.
What's 2 Chainz' old name?
Yeah, Before he was 2 Chainz, it was
Titty
it was
Boy.
Titty Boy. See? That's why I changed it to 2 Chainz.
Titty Boy. Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
see that now.
I was not making that up.
TITYBOI.
So go from Booty Boy to 2 rings, just like Titty Boy to 2 Chainz. Okay? That's what we're
That
doing.
means we would have 3
All right.
rings. I'm aware with that.
Okay, praise for the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, they were great against the Warriors. I'll give them that. LeBron James, he locked in when he needed to lock in. He doesn't need to be 40-point LeBron James anymore. He can be 30, 10, and 10 LeBron James, and he's still great. He still controls the game at a level that maybe no one in history has done, with the way he scores, with the way he passes, with the way he gets others involved. Like, he is just great at setting the table and controlling the game for himself and for others. Anthony Davis, still a little inconsistencies defensively, though. Defensively, he's playing arguably the best I've ever seen him play, and that includes the bubble. Offensively, can still have some inconsistent games, but they're definitely going to need him defensively against Nikola Jokic, because Jokic right now might be the most, I mean, as far as bigs go, I don't know how you're stopping that guy as a big, like with his footwork and his touch around the rim and just his overall shooting and his efficiency. He's very tough to defend. So they're going to need Anthony Davis to be a great one-on-one defender, because Anthony Davis has done well as like a shot blocker, sliding over, affecting shots and everything. You look at the bigs Anthony Davis played. Who's the big on Memphis? Jaren Jackson? That's who he was going up against. The Warriors, Kevon Looney, Draymond Green. These ain't scores. Jaren Jackson a little bit, but more as like an outside guy. Jokic is going to be by far the toughest scorer, one-on-one scorer he's had to go up against. And look, Davis is the best defender Jokic has gone up against. Sorry,
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert, but overall, Davis is a much more diverse defender than Rudy Gobert is.
Yeah.
So
What I think the difference in that matchup between Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic is, we know that Jokic is so consistent on offense. We also know that Anthony Davis is so consistent on defense. The key is, we have to have the Anthony Davis whose offense is better than Jokic's defense, because outside of his team record the last 2 seasons, the reason why I didn't say Jokic was the MVP the last 2 seasons, not this season he was, and ironically he didn't win it, but the last 2 seasons, is because he's not a great defender. He's not a great defender. I don't think Nikola Jokic can be considered the best player in the league if you're not elite on defense, and he just hasn't been. So it has to be Anthony Davis proving that his offense is better than Jokic's defense.
This is a dumb argument of, okay, he's not elite. So Steph Curry can't be, when he was on his heater, he can't be the best player in the league because he couldn't defend. Steph Curry couldn't defend.
Steph could defend. Steph could defend. He averaged like 2. He averaged like 2 steals a game.
Okay, I watched enough Russell Westbrook during his OKC days where he'd gamble for steals and he'd jump passing lanes and everything's like, oh, Russell Westbrook plays hard. Look at his steal numbers. Russell Westbrook would just sit there and get beat off the ball all the time and get beat on the ball all the time too, because he didn't care. But he'd take enough gambles and he had enough good instincts to where, yeah, he could get some steal numbers and everything. Jokic, I'm pretty sure Jokic has like halfway decent numbers if you just want to look at that, but everybody calls him a bad defender. Yeah, Steph could get steals and stuff.
I didn't say he was I didn't say he was a bad defender. I just said he's not elite.
Okay, Steph wasn't elite. Steph wasn't an elite defender.
Okay. But Steph has some ridiculous seasons, man. And his team
Jokic is having ridiculous seasons.
And his team won 73 games. When he didn't win 73, they won 69 games. This is the first season that I said. I said there's no debate. Jokic should have won the MVP because his team actually delivered, and he was the catalyst for it.
Here's the dumb thing about elite defense and things like that. One, Jokic is a good team defender. And, if you have a good enough scheme to where you can mask the the deficiencies of your star player on defense and he can play within that scheme, you're doing good. Joel Embiid, great defender, right? Jason Tatum cooked that man, cooked him, and he was hunting out Joel Embiid. Great defender, elite defender.
He can't
Joel
guard
Embiid.
can't guard the perimeter. Not like Anthony Davis.
Okay, then he's not an elite defender then if he can't guard the perimeter, if he
He's
just
an
slides
elite
over and
defender
shot blocks.
in the inside, on the inside.
Oh, okay. If your offense is so good that your defense just needs to be serviceable, which Jokic is, then fine. That's all you need. That's all you need. Steph Curry's offense is so good. He just needs serviceable defense within the team scheme. And that's more valuable than friggin' Caldwell Pope, who's a good defender and just kind of hits threes and everything. That's the offense is so good. Defense just be serviceable within the team. That's all that matters.
Hey,
it's going to be
a 7-footer who can't average 1 block a game is pathetic to me.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to.
Pathetic on defense.
He doesn't need to. It's a different type of scheme. He's not there to be a rim protector. He's not there to slide over.
Imagine if he was, though. He would be the best. He would be by far. There would be no debate against him.
That's not their scheme. That's not what they want out of him. That's not his strength. So why do it? It's dumb. Oh, let's turn him into a shot blocker just because he's 7 foot tall. No, that's stupid. That's very dumb to do that. You play within the strengths of the team. And that's what they do with Jokic.
We'll see. We shall see. We shall see how it transpires. But we do have to talk about the Eastern Conference and the pathetic performance by the Philadelphia 76ers.
Real quickly on the Nuggets, I was actually not done praising the Lakers. SP3.
Oh, I thought you were done because you never got to the praising, really.
I was trying to, and then you had to defend Anthony Davis because, top 5 MVP candidate, Anthony Davis. If I say one wrong thing about him, I didn't even say anything wrong about him. I just praised Jokic too much, and then you had to come over here with your Davis boosting. Like the Davis signal went off of like, wait a second, you weren't talking about Anthony Davis? Like those people on Twitter of like, I like pancakes. You mean you hate waffles? Huh? No, it's a different statement. All I'm saying is Jokic is great. Wait, does this mean Anthony Davis is not great? No, he is. He's a great player. He's going to have to be great this series. Jokic is going to have to be great. I don't want to simplify this series, but it legitimately may just come down to who is better between Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic. It legitimately may just come down to that. The rest of the Lakers, one LeBron. LeBron still, if he's not the second best player on the court, because on some nights he can be better than Davis, I think Jokic is going to be the best player on the court on most nights. Then it might be Davis or LeBron, and then whoever's not 2 out of that will probably be 3. Jamal Murray is going to have to be consistent and very good. Role players on both sides are going to have to, they're going to have to do what they did in the last round. This is a series where, we're going to get a Caldwell Pope revenge series. It's like, wait, You traded me for Russell Westbrook? Huh? What happened here? Like, we're going to get Caldwell Pope revenge. Is Michael Porter Jr. going to step up? Is D'Angelo Russell? Like, we thought the Warriors could expose D'Angelo Russell a little bit defensively, and it didn't really happen. Credit to the Lakers for their game planning. Credit to, the Warriors just missing shots that maybe they probably would have liked to hit. It's a different beast going up against the Nuggets offense where they are rolling right now. They don't have Klay Thompson breaking a bunch of shots. They don't have Jordan Poole breaking a bunch of shots. Like they're all their guys are hitting right now. Maybe they get cold, but the Warriors do, or the Nuggets do a much better job of not just shooting threes, jacking up threes. They make a lot of cuts to the basket, get a lot of easy baskets because Jokic is such a good playmaker and Murray is a very good playmaker. So D'Angelo Russell is going to have to be even more aware defensively than he was against the Warriors. I like the Nuggets in 6. Admittedly, I'm kind of a coward in that I think the Heat and the Celtics go 7, and I don't want to pick 2 7-game series because that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So that's why I'm going 6 for the Nuggets. should be a really great series, though. And it won't surprise me if the Lakers win in 6 or even 7. It really won't. This Lakers team, you know how much I believed in them since the trade deadline. I loved all those moves. They got the right role players around LeBron and Davis. LeBron's playing great. Davis is playing great. I hope above anything, I don't really, even though I picked the Lakers or the Nuggets to win the title, I want good, healthy, competitive basketball. I don't want injuries marring this series. I want everybody to be healthy, and I want just the better team to win this series. So I'm going Nuggets.
You don't laugh at concussions like Stephen A.
No, that was
Charles
I
Barkley,
Shaquille that was
O'Neal.
terrible.
Horrible. It's horrible. They shouldn't even be allowed to talk about the NBA anymore.
We can question the durability of players. We'll crack jokes about, oh, Kawhi can't stay healthy. Davis can't stay healthy. Any concussion stuff like that, it's not funny. And even just when guys get hurt, like, okay, oh, he can't stay healthy. Ha, ha, ha. But, like, it's not fun to see these guys get hurt. We want to watch the best players play. Like, it's not fun to be like, oh, the Clippers, what could have been with the Clippers? We deal in the reality of like, well, these guys get hurt. It always happens. But these are not funny stories of, Paul George got hurt. LOL, can't stay healthy. Look at him. Just he walks and he gets injured. Anthony Davis needs a wheelchair. LOL. Like, it's not fun. I want to see the best players play in the most competitive games. I think as basketball fans, that's what we all should be rooting for.
Yes, just because I say Kawhi Leonard is unreliable, I don't laugh at his injuries. That is just wrong to do. Learn from that, Stephen A. Smith.
Louis Villa says, late church, did y'all get to Blicky Rubio? Yeah, we've said a few things with him. He's got to get better friends. Something's got to happen. What are they suspending him from, by the way? You ain't allowed to the bowling party or anything? Like the Memphis bowling party?
He needs Coach Carter. He needs Coach Carter in his life.
I just want to know what you can't come to the draft party tonight, the lottery party tonight, the draft party in a couple of months. Like, that's what they're suspending him from. Dylan Brooks, he's not back under any circumstances. Dylan Brooks just talked a bunch of shit and didn't make shots. John Morant is out here like actually getting into some shit. And it's like, you're just suspended from team activities. Once you correct yourself, we can get you back in. Dylan Brooks, like, no circumstances. Don't matter. You're just not coming back at all.
He still thinks he's Lope Dog from Don't Be a Menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. He literally, there was no reason. He's just having fun on IG Live and he didn't even have the gun in his hand to start off the video.
He didn't. He just pulled it out.
Well, you know he's recording. What are we doing?
His friend at least, just did hand signals like, oh, okay, sure. Like,
and he was like, no, we need the real thing.
Yeah, we need to you ain't getting on camera anymore on this. It was very quick too. Somebody had to like really slow that thing down.
Yeah, but you could tell his friend knew that he messed up because his friend just put the camera down. But the best tweet that I saw was someone saying that NBA thought that they had the next gen rivalry with Zion Williamson and John Morant. One got it. Obesity got one of them, and a gun got the other. You can't get more American than that. That's the best tweet that I saw.
Man, that's a shame that Zion can't stay healthy and that Ja just can't stay out of his own way at this point. Tom Talk Rubbish says, thank you for being nice people. Well, I mean, personally to each other, yes. What we're about to say about certain members of a team in Philadelphia probably will not be so nice. So here we go, SP3. Game 5. After Game 5, which really is Game 4. Sorry, Game 4, where Jaylen Brown made the mistake, helped off of James Harden in the corner. James Harden hit the shot. Sixers win, tie the series at 2-2 instead of being down 3-1. Game 5 at home, Boston looked very, very lifeless. Very, very lifeless. Lost that game down 3-2. Game 6, Jason Tatum just completely no-showed for, I mean, 40 minutes of a 48-minute game. Like, just did not happen. Wasn't there. And the Sixers were about 6 minutes away from going to the conference finals. They're about 6 minutes away. And then Jason Tatum decided, you know what? I'm just not going to miss a shot the rest of the series. Entire series. He went off at the end of game 6, saved Boston's season, got them to a game 7, and game 7 was not close. It was close by the half. And it seemed like maybe the Sixers, we didn't get anything out of Harden and Embiid in the first half, much like the Celtics didn't get anything out of Tatum the first half of game 6. And then Tatum decided to come back around at the end of game 6. Like, maybe Harden and Embiid will show up for the second half of game 7. It's a 5-point game. It was tied within a couple minutes of the third quarter in game 7. And they continue to get nothing out of Harden and Embiid. And Jason Tatum decided, you know what? I'm not even going to give him a chance. Jaylen Brown decided, I'm not even going to give him a chance. Al Horford, OKC legend, bounce pass legend. Al Horford decided, I ain't letting Joel Embiid get his shit off. And the Boston Celtics blew out the 76ers in game 7. And like they seem to do every single year, SP3, like Doc Rivers does, legitimately every year. I thought this stat was fake. I thought it was fake when I saw this stat. I'm going to pull it up. I want to be correct on this. 17 and 33 when he has a chance to clinch a series, when he has 3 wins in a series. 3-1, 3-2. I think he's blown a 3-0 lead. Give him some time.
Give him some time.
17 and 33. I'm thinking to myself, that's just not possible. That's just a fake stat because it's not possible. It's possible. All praise Doc Rivers for doing what feels like it should be impossible. James Harden shows up for 2 games, wins game 1 without Joel Embiid, helps win game 4, where he played great, hit the big shot. And then after game 4, he was okay in game 5. He did some good things in game 5. Game 6 and 7, I don't know where he was.
No showed.
No points in the fourth quarter of these games. Here's another stat for you, SP3. Fourth quarter stats in their last 3 playoff games for Philadelphia. James Harden, 0 points. Ben Simmons, 5 points on 5 free throws. Ben Simmons got to the line. I mean, he was kind of hacked, but Ben Simmons scored more in the fourth quarter in his last 3 playoff games than James Harden has. And they ran Ben Simmons out of town because he was passing up dunks in the final minute of playoff games.
And you saw Ben Simmons watching the game. He was watching the game.
Yeah, the glass of wine. Yeah. Look, Ben Simmons may never win a playoff series in the rest of his career, but I'm here for all the pettiness on that stuff. I'm here for it. James Harden just does what James Harden does. And the narratives are out there. I would like for these guys to, rewrite it, but they ain't doing a good job of it. They're writing the same damn story every year. And now, SP3, let's have a conversation about your MVP, the man you vouched for 2 years to win the MVP, the man they gave the participatory MVP to this year. They felt bad for this man. Like, well, we can't give it to Jokic for a 3rd straight year, even though it's clearly him, even though he's even better this year than he's been the past 2 years, because we've already given him the MVP award.
2 MVPs he didn't deserve.
What were the arguments for Joel Embiid? One, he cried about it, so they felt bad for him. He's a little baby. Like, here you go. Here's your MVP pacifier, Joel Embiid. Here, you can have this. It's okay. We're sorry. We're sorry Jokic is actually better. Oh, the playoffs. What is Jokic done in the playoffs the past 2 years as the MVP? What has he done? Oh, he lost in the second. Oh, he lost in the first round when they didn't have Jamal Murray. Oh, Jokic just isn't performing in the playoffs. We got to give it to Embiid because Embiid's going to make it happen in the playoffs. Even though he can't get out of the second round himself, and his victories over the depleted Nets, who were a 6 seed thanks to half a year from Kyrie and Kevin Durant. That's the only reason they were a 6 seed. They weren't a playoff team otherwise. And his other victories were against the Toronto Raptors, who were a shell of themselves last year. And then who else? He beat the bubble, the Beal and Westbrook Wizards, who the Wizards are just always going to be in mediocre hell. He couldn't beat the Atlanta Hawks. That Atlanta Hawks team was not good. That Atlanta Hawks team tricked y'all into thinking they were good because they beat the Sixers. And then the Hawks were like, wait, we actually got something here. Let's extend our timeline. We got this because we beat the Sixers. No, they tricked y'all over all of this. Let's give the MVP to Joel Embiid because don't worry, the playoffs, he's going to make it happen, everybody. MVP Embiid is going to show up. Where's MVP Embiid now? And where's Nikola Jokic right now? Huh? One's in the conference finals. The other is asking for more help because him and James Harden can't do it all. They can't do it all in a game where they had help. That quote was a little out of context, I will say. They did try to say, like, hey, we know we got to be better as well. But, let's not let facts get in the way of some good slander here. They got help and get PJ Tucker hit shots. PJ Tucker actually made some shots. Maxey showed up. Georges Dang was hitting shots. They got some help. DeAnthony Melton was playing well. They got some help on this. Tobias Harris, he appeared. That man appeared, right? Embiid and James Harden no-showed in the biggest game of the year. OKC legend Al Horford lock him down in the biggest game of the year. That's your MVP? That's the man you've been vouching for 2-3 years of this is the MVP. This is the best big in the league. He cried his way into an MVP, just like he cries his way into the fouls, just how James Harden cries his way. They are insurance fraudsters, SP3. They are committing insurance fraud out here. Okay? That's it. That's what they are doing. That is what they're out here doing in the regular season, is they's committing fraud. And they get everybody to buy into it. It's like, this is the year. Embiid, this is different for him. James Harden, this is the best team. He doesn't have to be the number one guy anymore. Embiid's the number one guy. James Harden could just be the playmaker and hit shots. Look at the pieces they got around them. Daryl Morey, such a smart executive, such a forward-thinking executive with these moves. Doc Rivers, he's going to get it together this year. They are frauds. They're out here committing fraud every single year, and they should be jailed for their crime. We need to audit this fucking team, all right? Regulate them, audit them, send them to the G League for the fraud they have committed for years and years. Get them out of here.
You done now?
Give Jokic his MVP that he deserves. Give him his third MVP, you fucking cowards.
No, they got to trade. Give to Joel last year, and then Jokic can get this year.
Joel Embiid's a wrestling fan, right? He's a DX fan. That's probably why, he ain't winning anything.
He stupidly thinks DX is better than NWO.
Yeah, he's a fraud wrestling fan. He needs to show up to game 1 between the Lakers and the Nuggets, and he needs to hand that MVP over. He just needs to hand it over like he's Eric Bischoff handing over the world title to Triple H. And he said, I was wrong. I'm a fraud. This is yours. You are the real 3-time MVP. You deserve this. You earned this. Until I can win in the second round, I don't deserve this. I don't want to hear no more Joel Embiid MVP. You got it. You got your participatory MVP. You got your crybaby MVP. No more of this. Win a second round series and stop falling on every play.
Joel Embiid, ladies and gentlemen, is the only NBA regular season MVP to never make it to the conference finals. I thought that was a trick stat. I thought, nah, they definitely had made it. And then I thought about it and I was like, nope, 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 and nope, and nope. Yeah, it's time to blow it up. It's time to get rid of Doc. The Doc experiment. They thought it was going to push them to the next level. He's got the more wins in the regular season every year he's been there. I'll give him that, but he's just not the coach anymore. He lucked into the big three Celtics, lucked into Rajon Rondo overcoming, being a better player than his draft number. But yeah, no, he's not.
That Celtics team is put on the highest of pedestals.
It's true.
For one title.
They won
one title.
And it's only because Paul Pierce had to use the bathroom in game one. It's only because Paul Pierce had to use the bathroom in game one, and the Lakers only had Kobe and Powell together for 3 months before the playoffs. Those are the two reasons why the Boston Celtics won their one championship with the big three.
The LeBron and Davis Lakers, who I have slandered plenty, who do not have, who failed to make the playoffs a couple of years, who got in as a play-in team, and granted they would have been a 17 regardless, but they got in as a play-in team. They have a fake ring that counts the same as these one title the Boston Celtics got, that everyone is like, this is one of the best teams of all time. This is one of the greatest teams we've ever seen. They got the same amount of titles as the current Lakers with LeBron and Anthony Davis, who catch more flack than they probably deserve. And I feed into that.
Yes, you do.
Troll. Man, I troll you with it. When I want to be unbiased and serious about this stuff, I will be. And they might end up with more titles a month from now than that Celtics team. They got one title out of this. That's it.
Yeah, one title, 2 NBA finals. They were a good team, but I don't think it should have gotten Doc Rivers all these passes that he has been getting. He choked for the Clippers a whole bunch of years. He's choking with the Philadelphia 76ers. He used to choke with the Orlando Magic. Yeah, it's a wrap. Just let him go. If Monty Williams loses his job after winning the Coach of the Year and getting his team to the NBA Finals, then how does Doc Rivers keep his job? How does Nick Nurse win a NBA championship, win Coach of the Year, and lose his job? Doc Rivers deserves to be fired. How does Bolzer, whatever his name is, from the Bucks, he wins Budenholzer. He wins the championship. He's won a Coach of the Year. Yeah, how does he lose his job and Doc Rivers keeps his? It doesn't make any sense. You got to get rid of Doc. You got to revamp this roster, because if Joel Embiid and James Harden, they can't do it alone, despite the fact Tobias Harris had more points than either one of them. The fact that Tyrese Maxey, he had more points than either one of them. How dare you? That was the worst. That was the worst press conference I've seen from a reigning league MVP after his team got bounced out of the playoffs. That was the worst, because it was just poor excuses, weren't thought out answers. This dude says it's a failure 1 minute, then tries to quote Giannis the next minute saying it's not a failure, it's roads to a success and stuff like that. Man, get the hell up out of here. Joel Embiid, you didn't deserve this year's MVP. You need to hand it over to Jokic. Jokic, you could hand him last year's MVP, however y'all want to do it. However y'all want to do it, y'all could do it that way. You could do it Jeremy's way, whatever you want to do. He didn't deserve it this year. It was a participation trophy. It's just...
Jokic ain't got to hand over no MVPs, because he correctly won it the past 2 years, and he should have won it this year. But Daryl Morey, by the way, he's put on this executive pedestal because Daryl Morey is only good at campaigning for MVPs. That's it. He campaigned for the James Harden MVP and got that. He campaigned for the Joel MVP, Embiid MVP, and got that. Otherwise, what has Daryl Morey done? What has he done? He ain't taken a team to. He hasn't built a finals team. He hasn't built a championship team. He got close. He got close with the Rockets, but Chris Paul got injured. What you can do? Everybody liked the Sixers, but they can't get out of the second round. Daryl Morey ain't built a championship team. He's barely built a conference finals team. And yet he gets praised as his top executive. Tired of that team.
And the reason why Jeremy is so mad is because he said the Sixers was going to the finals.
Oh, I forgot about that. But yeah. I've been in on my Nuggets.
He's like, I'm just focused on the Nuggets. I'm just focused. I forgot about the other team from the East that
look, my predictions are my predictions. Like I try to sound smart and everything.
Hey, you're doing better than mine. Mine was Warriors and Bucks. They both bounced up out of here.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that because my Lakers is the one that bounced them out. But hey.
This is true. Daryl Morey is popular with the analytics. I blame Bill Simmons for all this. Bill Simmons platformed him and put him way up here because he's good with fancy numbers and things like that. You know what your fancy numbers don't tell you is who's going to show up in the playoffs when it's time for gut check. And the funny thing is, your fancy numbers do tell you that if you look at James Harden and he's still like, you know what? I still like James Harden. I'm still going to roll with James Harden. Even though your fancy numbers tell you every single time in the playoffs, his grifting doesn't work. And people catch on to his pyramid scheme basketball.
And James Harden he shut up the naysayers with game 1 and game 4. And then he just proved the naysayers.
He'll have a good game. He'll have a good game, and people are like, oh man, James Harden, if they can get this out of James Harden, they're going to win this series. And then they don't get it out of James Harden. And not only do they not get that out of James, they don't get close to that. This man had like 9 points in game 7. 9 points? You're supposed to be one of the best scorers in the league. Joel Embiid, you can't get 20 points. You're supposed to, like 17. You're supposed to be the MVP. Yeah. Jason Tatum, by the way, shout out to him. Steph Curry broke the record. Yeah, Steph Curry broke the record. Jason Tatum's like, you can have that for a couple weeks. It's mine now. That's just mine now.
He was like, I got this now. And this was a Jason Tatum kind of statement game because a lot of people were questioning if he was like the true leader of the Celtics. There's no question he's the best player on the Celtics. It's a question of, is he the leader? And he led them to a game 7 win. And now he has to face another one of the guys who I think is one of the best leaders on the court for a team in Jimmy Butler. So. And you went and ranted about the Philadelphia 76ers. Let me talk about these New York Knicks. Because I lived in New York pretty much my whole life. Had to deal with my mother. The reason why I'm not a New York Knicks fan is because my mother is a diehard New York Knicks fan. I remember when Patrick Ewing was playing, she used to tell me Patrick Ewing, one of the best centers she ever seen, best New York Knick of all time. And every single time the New York Knicks even sniff the NBA playoffs, I have to deal. And my mom's not a bad Knicks fan. She just has faith in the team when she really shouldn't. You know what makes me sick? Because the New York Knicks fans, if they sniff the playoffs, they all happy. They all hype them up and think that they're better than that they really are. But you know what happens even worse? Is when the New York Knicks ain't winning, their default is hating on good teams. That's all they can do. That's all they can do is just hate on good teams. It's disgusting. They got all this hate in their heart that they try to cover up and hide behind a blanket of false bravado. That's all they got is false bravado. They was like, oh, we're versing the 8th seed. We got this. We're gonna take this. Knicks in 6. I had non-Knicks fans telling me the Knicks was still gonna win. Knicks in 7 when they were down 3-1. I'm like, have y'all watched this series? It's pretty clear that the Miami Heat is the better team. It's pretty clear that the Miami Heat played to a level of this and then turned off the switch when it came to the NBA playoffs and have been playing like this. I told you at the start of the NBA playoffs, the one player in the Eastern Conference I wouldn't bet against, that I wouldn't deny, that I have faith in was Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is not the guy to play with. Is not the guy to underestimate. And that's what the Knicks did. They thought they were all fine and dandy. Jimmy Butler got a twisted ankle in game one. They was like, oh, we got this now. We got this now. And what happened? You found out why Julius Randle is a former Laker great. He ain't a current Laker great. You found out why we got rid of Julius Randle, because when the lights was on bright, Julius Randle, he got real small and then had the second place for the worst press conference comments of the year behind Joel Embiid when he said after game 4, yeah, they just wanted more. What? What? You still got a chance to win? And you're up here saying they wanted more? Well, then just lay down and die. Lay down and die. Every time the Knicks win a goddamn game at Madison Square Garden, you would think they won the NBA championship, because these Knicks fans walk around with their chest up big. Oh yeah, we got this. We got this. We got this. Yeah, it's all good in the hood. It's all good. Yeah, New York Knicks, orange and blue skies. All this nonsense. All this ridiculousness. They got Stephen A. Smith laughing at concussions, then putting on his red nose every time the Knicks win a freaking championship, acting like a goddamn clown on ESPN. And then they put the clown on display and say, chuck and jive for me, like Booker T in 2003, saying you're just here to dance for us. When the Knicks lose, you gotta be up here and do the whole big make me disgusted, make me sick. And you got Knicks fans mad at Stephen A. Smith when y'all are worse. Y'all are worse. All you can do is hate on other teams, and then you expect people to want to root for y'all. That's why no one should root for the Knicks, because they are disgusting fan base. This is someone that has lived in New York his whole life. The Knicks fan base is one of the most disgusting fan bases of all the teams. They go left so quick. It's ridiculous. They have this false bravado, then they hate on other teams. They hate on their own team. They're just haters. They are just haterade. That's what they sip on. They don't sip on Gatorade. They replace the Gatorade with haterade. While they're losing in game 6, they were just sipping on the haterade like, who we going to hate on next? Oh, we're going to hate on the Lakers, because the Lakers were a lesser seed, won less games than us, but are doing better than us. Y'all don't have any right to be hating on us. Y'all should shut up. Shut up and sit in the corner. Look against the wall. Look against the wall, Knicks fans, because you don't got nothing to say. You didn't do better than us. You didn't do nothing. You won one series against a whole bunch of pups. You think Miami Heat, they won a championship in 2012 against the Baby Thunder. You know why nobody really mentioned that? They just talk about the 2 championships they won overall, and then mainly they talk about 2013, because in 2013 they actually beat a real championship team in the San Antonio Spurs. But the Knicks, they will talk for the next year about them winning a playoff series against the baby Cavs, and then deny the fact that they lost against an 8 seed. They lost against an 8 seed that lost a play-in game and had to win another play-in game. The Knicks, pathetic.
I saw that video after they won game 5 to make it 3-2 of the Knicks fans smoking on the Miami pack and everything. It's like, y'all are still down 3-2 going back to Miami. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Knicks fans, hang the banner. They won a playoff round.
A playoff round. Yep. Raise the banner.
Them and the Sixers, just first round banners up in the rafters there. Bless him. Good luck to him. Katie says, this sounds like targeted at a certain Knicks fan. Was it targeted, SP3? Were you talking about a certain Knicks fan?
No.
I don't think you were. It's really the whole fan base.
Yes, my good friend, one of my good friends, probably the person who is most responsible for the True Hill Heat, where we are as a YouTube channel, Romeo. He's a big fat hater. But I am. It's widespread. It's not just one certain Knicks fan. Knicks fans in general have a false bravado and their default, if they're not bigging up the Knicks and having that false bravado, their default back to being a hater of the Lakers, of the Warriors. It don't matter who it is. They just target whoever they want for being a hate. That's what they do. They just hate.
They do. It's all Knicks fans. I don't think it was a single out of Romeo at all. It's legitimately just look at Knicks fans online. Again, look at that video where they're smoking on the Miami pack and they're like, "Oh, Jimmy Butler, don't you wish he came to New York?" No, he went to Miami for a reason. He's back in the conference finals with Miami. No, absolutely not. So
and this is me and I Trey Jones. I don't know if you're from New York, but I will admit it. As a New Yorker, we are notorious haters. When my Lakers wasn't doing well, you know what I was doing? I was hating on LeBron's Heat. That's what I was doing. I was hating on LeBron's Heat when the Lakers weren't playing well. So I am saying this from personal experience of living 30 years plus, nearly 40 years in New York. That's what they do.
All right. Miami and Boston. Give a prediction.
Miami in 7.
I'm gonna say Boston in 7, and I kind of admit that I'm just going to go against you because I think it's more fun if I do that. I do think Boston's the better overall team. Miami, I give them full credit for beating the Bucks. The Knicks is a good win. The Bucks, obviously, a very good win. No Tyler Hero, I think, is really going to show up in this series. I do think Boston's a little bit deeper. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have seemed to learn lessons from last year's playoff run. Here's why I worry about the Celtics. One, they fuck around too much. They lost 2 games against Atlanta because they just decided to screw around. They even lost the games against the Sixers. Game 1, they shouldn't have lost without Embiid there. And game 4, they shouldn't have lost. They just screwed around.
They don't win close games. They don't win close games. And I think that this series is going to come down to a 1 or 2 possession games. And I have more faith in the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler than I do in the Boston Celtics. That's why. And that's the number 2 reason. The number 1 reason, I want it to be the bubble finals again to further validate the bubble. And the number 2, no, that's actually the one I said before is number 3, because number 2 reason is I have more faith in the Lakers beating the Miami Heat over the Celtics. So those are the top 3 reasons why I'm going with Miami Heat in 7.
The reason I would be afraid of Miami is the reason why I didn't take Miami serious to start the playoffs is I ain't doubting Jimmy Butler at this point. Like, that man is on a mission, and he was that close to beating the Celtics last year on that dagger 3 that came up a little short. If that goes in, they're going back to the finals on that. And he thinks about this stuff. This stuff eats at him when it comes to this. And I think you're going to see Jimmy Butler's already played at a high level these playoffs. He might even have another level for this series against Boston. Is it going to be enough? I don't know, because Jason Tatum's at a certain level right now. I think Jaylen Brown's been the most consistent Celtics player. I don't think he's getting enough credit for how good he's been in the playoffs. And then I do think, again, overall, Boston has a deeper team. So that would concern me if I'm Miami. I like Boston in 7, but if I'm a Boston fan, I'm definitely afraid of Jimmy. I think Spoelstra's a better coach as well, which is, not too of a hot take. I think Spoelstra's the best coach left in the playoffs. I think just his track record just proves all of this. He is he gets the most out of a team that should not have beaten Milwaukee. Like on paper, that team should not have beaten Milwaukee. The Knicks, yeah, probably should have beat them. But he's an outstanding coach. So I'm gonna go with Boston in 7. I hope the games are good. Last year, the games were like very much rock fights and not always the most entertaining. I hope the games are good this year.
Yeah, I think like only like maybe like the last 2 games of the series was actually close games, but yeah, I'm hoping that it's more of a close series, that it does come down to those 1-2 possession ball games, because this is like the new main rivalry of the East. 3 out of 4 years they meet in the conference finals. You got the star players with Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum playing the same position. So yeah, it just works out more. I think it would mean a little bit more if Udoka was still the coach, but I think that Spo is the better coach. So those factors, Spo is the better coach, and I think some of these games Jimmy Butler will be the best player on the court. So that's why I got the Heat.
We shall see. I like both the matchups in the conference finals. They start tonight. We also got the draft lottery tonight. I hope OKC wins. Don't think we will, because our odds aren't good. I hope it's not Houston. I don't want Houston to get Wembanyama. No. I just hope it's anybody but Houston, which means Houston's going to win the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Before we bring on our pal Cher Delaware, I didn't really promise anything, but I said if we have time, I would give this man time. So unfortunately, Caden is here. Caden, hello. How you doing? I'm kidding. We actually don't have time today. I have to go. I have things to do. Our pal Cher Delaware is not even joining us today because we don't have any time. So apologies to Cher Delaware. I did message her and tell her that I don't have time. We ran long because there was a lot to talk about when it came to basketball, and I do have to run though. SP3, let them know where they can find you at.
Find me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. If you want to hear further of my thoughts on the NBA playoffs, check out the True Hill Heat Sports YouTube channel, True Hill Heat Check, from yesterday with me and Romeo doing predictions and talking about the semifinals. We talked a little bit more about John Morant and all his issues as well. And check out the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, where my interview with Sammy Callahan is up right now. So True Hill Heat YouTube channel, True Hill Heat Sports. And thank you, Jeremy, as always. My favorite time of the week, FMC, LMC, Laker Morning Church.
Great as always. Love this show every single week. We'll be back next week. We'll talk about whatever goes on in this past week from the NBA. I'm sure we'll talk about the lottery when the Oklahoma City Thunder win tonight. And we will get back with the reality television and things
Challenge
like that.
World Championship final is this week. So we'll talk about the last 2 weeks of the Challenge World Championship.
There we go. Yeah, just a lot of basketball today. We had sermon from SP3. We had rants from myself and SP3. It was a big week in the world of basketball. A lot of slander to go around in the world of basketball this week. Check out everything on Fightful Overbooked, including Tag Talk with Haley and Kylie. Tag team wrestling apparently in the mud. But Fightful Overbooked, check out Tag Talk. Check out In the Weeds. Check out, it should be, I believe, a new episode of New Japan Bread Club this week. Indeed with Mike and Reg, Joel and Kate at 8. Everything else we have going on Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. Everything at Fightful Overbooked. We'll be back next week. New FMC, talking basketball, reality television, anything else. Bye, everybody. Talk to y'all later on.